Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the new World Cup hero Ricardo Carvalho card to review. If we take a look at Ricardo Carvalho, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, the version just before this one, I wasn't too crazy about, right? You could see here that with the player in game, he does not turn into a lengthy player, which, to be fair, I do feel like is a little bit of a letdown on the card, because obviously lengthy is a huge meta to work with when it comes to working with proper center backs. Reason being for this is because when you do give the shadow chemistry style to these cards, I have to do it on footways because it's not updated yet on foothead. When you give the shadow chemistry style to these cards, his acceleration and sprint speed is in a good area, but it's important to have that while being lengthy to chase after players, right? So your defensive style probably has to be a little bit more defensive than usual, right? Like you can't be as aggressive because that chase after animation is what's really important on the lengthy, right? With this card, guys, in game, you know, even if I can give him an architect, the pace would still be on a lower side for a center back, like if that was possible, right? But with this card in game, like I said, pace will be in a decent area. Shooting, non-existent. Passing is an okay area, not too bad there. Dribbling is going to be in a pretty decent area as well for a center back card. I don't really necessarily have too much problems with what I'm looking at there. And then obviously for defensive capabilities, the shadow chemistry style is essentially going to make it perfect on the card, right? So that definitely a huge plus to have. When it comes to physical capabilities, the card is going to be lower on the strength department, right? So nothing too crazy there, but is going to have aggression, stamina, and jumping to work with, right? So a couple of interesting variables to work with when it comes to Ricardo Carvalho. Obviously, we're going to be taking a look and seeing how he performs in game in the center back position. So what we'll be doing is we'll be using the 4-2-3-1 formation, playing him in the center back position, right center back preferably in this situation, with the tactics being somewhat aggressive on 60 depth, right? So yeah, we'll see what he's like. Hopefully he's a beast. So Holland's still going to dust Ricardo Carvalho on those runs. That's just Holland being Holland right there. Those situations are always super weird. I don't know what happened there, but hey, it worked out. Well done, Ricardo. So Ricardo Carvalho in this position over here, AI-wise, didn't actually do that bad of a job, right? So I used the offside trap, and then his AI is the one that's tracking after Mbappe there. But you could see that the lengthy would definitely be really nice for like those really long distance runs, you know? So again, another situation here with Ricardo Carvalho, right? So we overcommit him in this area. We let go of him. We kind of hope that AI-wise he tracks back well enough, and he does in that situation. So this situation here, you can see Ricardo Carvalho, when it comes to defending, his transition speed is perfectly fine. Like you don't notice him being super heavy in those areas when it comes to that left and right transition speed that you really need when it comes to manual defending. So this is from kickoff. Obviously, kickoffs are always super dangerous when it comes to defending. We control Ricardo Carvalho here. He goes in for a nice little left-footed challenge to get possession of the ball. We have another kickoff situation here. You know, just defending normally. We usually do the offside trap in the beginning just to get some movement out of the players. Gotta always be very careful of that, right? But he passes back into his own defensive area, passes the ball off here. We get the ball here with Ricardo Carvalho from a very simple interception. So this is a situation here with Ricardo Carvalho where my opponent is attacking, right? He's trying to utilize that empty space as much as possible. We get the ball here, or we don't get the ball here, but he takes a shot here with Mbappe on the outside foot shot, and it actually goes over Ricardo Carvalho's foot. So to be fair, I feel like he defends really well there because it's a really misplaced shot for the most part. So this is actually a funny situation here, right, with Ricardo Carvalho, because he gets the pass off here, goes for the cross, and me going for a header afterwards was actually hilarious because he actually outmuscles the person next to him to throw him off before he misses the header entirely. So, hey man, whatever works on the defense, you know? So this is one of those situations where obviously pressure tactics is still very effective for people to use because he's using the pressure tactics here. We go back to the goalkeeper. We try to go for a clearance through the middle. His Yaya Toure ends up getting the ball here. But, you know, from the Messi cross here, Ricardo Carvalho, well positioned, goes for a nice little clearance, and we can go on the counterattack afterwards. So this is a very good defensive opportunity here, right? So he catches me on the counter a little bit right here where Messi kind of commits into that left back position. We control Ronald Araujo just to kind of block out the general area, but Ricardo Carvalho, AI-wise, does still block out the opportunity really, really well. So check out this challenge here with Ricardo Carvalho, right? So he gets possession of the ball with the goalkeeper, utilizes the empty space in the side position. He kind of commits a little bit. When I get into these areas, it's very weird because I feel like manually I'm doing well enough, but at the end of the day, it's still going to come through. Ricardo Carvalho himself with the most insane animation to block out that opportunity. Just absolutely fantastic stuff. His high defensive stats have been incredibly noticeable so far. Good challenge there, Ricardo. I needed that. We got it. We got it. You know what, like with the lack of lengthy, I don't mind it as much, you know. It's just you got to be very careful when you do come up against those lengthy guys from time to time, right? Nice, timed that really well. We'll get the pass off. Young, well positioned. Let's go. Well done. Just have to block the general vicinity. Hey, like I said, this card is way more enjoyable than the first one. I'll tell you that much. Look at this guy's challenges, bro. Oh, the drag touches. They will always kill me in FIFA. Ricardo Carvalho, AI-wise, though, does well. I like that. Nice. Yeah, just have to block out the general area as well. Look at that. That was all defensive AI. I wasn't even using him. Telling you guys, this card is so much better than the last one. Doesn't even have to necessarily be a lengthy. I don't even care that much. Look at these challenge, my G. Lee, my boy. Doesn't need the leg that he's still popping off. Those situations I'm scared of. Without the lengthy. I'm definitely scared of those ones. Sometimes, you know? Let's go. So that's what I wanted to test out, right? I wanted to test out like that turnaround and then the chase afterwards, right? That's where it's a little rough. And lengthy is super important for center backs, I feel like, when it's like the really good ones. Nice. Couldn't get that ball. Tough to say, though, because, you know, kickoffs are weird. Nice. Just gotta block that area. Oh. Okay, guys. So final verdict on the new Ricardo Carvalho card. So, guys, in regards to how this card performs in game, I do feel like it is significantly better than the first one, right? The first one, for some reason, just felt kind of generic to me. I don't know, man. Because, like, if you actually take a look at this one, this is the Liga Noj one too, which I guess it kind of makes sense, right? You know, you gave him the architect chemistry style to make him a lengthy player. The pace is too low. You know, it's just too low. You can't really utilize lengthy in that way when your pace is on the lower side. It's very unfortunate that EA did this with this card because they should have definitely made him a lengthy on this bad boy with a shadow chemistry style. I think it would have been really, really sick for him. Do I feel like he would have probably cost a little bit more money? Probably. You know, there's a couple of things that compensate really well for this card. One, defensive abilities in game, really, really good, right? The defensive stats that you see basically all being perfect is incredibly noticeable in game. The only thing that you notice sometimes is being caught at a position against the lengthy players. That's what the main thing is. So if you're playing like very, you know, default oriented defensive tactics, you don't have to worry about it too much, right? But I do like the feeling of kind of committing a little bit and defending manually, you know what I'm saying? So that's why that could definitely be a little bit of a letdown. You know what compensates a lot for the fact that he's not lengthy is the low-high work rates, right? So because he's a low-high work rated card, it's very, very nice to work with the defensive stats that he has. You just have to be mindful of this, right? If you come up against someone like Holland, right? Let's take a look at this card. Just as an example, right? This Holland card, you give him a Hunter chemistry style. 90 acceleration, 99 sprint speed. But not only does he have high pace, but he's also lengthy, right? So that's the things that you have to take a look at. That is genuinely the only main concern of the card when it came to me using him in game. It's just that. It's just the chase after part, right? But honestly, there was many occurrences where he actually saved my life, right? Defensive AI wise, he did great. You know, in my case, if I wanted to go with like a Portuguese squad, I actually wouldn't mind adding him as one of my center backs. I will say that at some point it probably would annoy me because I always tell you guys all the time that your center backs should be, or your defenders in general should be absolutely full meta. Like, be a rat if you have to. The rest of the team you could change up a bit, right? But the defensive positions you need to go rat mode on completely, 100%. But yeah, like I said, I do feel like they did a better job with this card than the first one. Because obviously with like the first cards, like there's Marquisio, Yaya Toure, like Yaya Toure, those cards are sick. But I know some people liked this card. I just didn't like it that much. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Can you technically give this card an architect? Yes, you can technically give him an architect, but it just doesn't make sense. You know, like a 78 acceleration, 81 sprint speed, that's a decent area when it comes to the lengthy parts. I'm not gonna say it's in a terrible area. It's definitely not, right? But I don't know, like I was using him in game with it on the architect as well as a shadow, and I still prefer the shadow. You know, like for me personally, I still prefer the shadow because I guess like the extra defensive capabilities is definitely a huge plus. You know, lengthy, I feel like when you're 78 acceleration, 81 sprint speed as a midfielder, I think is fine because you have to really travel long distances to defend, right? But defense to 18-yard box is a little bit different for his card, right? If you're talking about other cards like, you know, like Varane and stuff, it's different. Why? Because he's already base lengthy, and then you give him a shadow, he's 85-92 with lengthy. You know what I'm saying? So it adds a huge variable to how these cards perform in game. But like I said, other than the fact of the lengthy, right, he defends really well. Good positioning, you know, defensively, he like I said, he saved me on a lot of occasions. Like, would I use him in a Portuguese team? This one I actually would. This one I definitely would. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.